Get to the chopper! Oh boy, that was probably the worst Arnold ever. Probably damn close. Hello. This guy? Hey.
Jack, if you couldn't...
Attitudes like that. Well, that's exactly why I could.
Who's behind this?
Let's just say I know who the bigger fish are.
Callahan. Why us? We're no threat.
Classic warfare. Break the lines of communication. Shoot the messengers. Without Pope. And without the runners. Your clients. Those who just won't let go of the old city will be cut off. Vulnerable. Then this city can clean up the last of its dregs.
So this is just the start.
I prefer to think of it as an ending. Still, you did a remarkably good job of coaxing out all those loose ends surrounding Pope's demise. It's why you're still alive.
Ow. That would have been a pretty good time then.
You can't live on the edge all your life, Faith. Sooner or later, you have to jump.
Yeah, I see it. Thank you. Europe! Ah, shit. I didn't think I could run on the grating. For some reason. Actually, I didn't think there was... Well, it's like I was talking about before in the other stage where the fence, it doesn't look like there's a fence. It looks empty until you ride up on it. Like that, it looked empty. And so I didn't think I could make the jump. Bitch. Damn him. What a douche. Oh yeah, she's totally gonna fall out. Hey! I totally called that. Don't you dare quick time this shit. Don't ruin this moment, guys. I know. What about those guys with guns behind us? Oh wait, maybe those were with Miller? Mirror's Edge. Alright, well, here is where I typically will turn the volume down so that you can actually hear what I'm saying. And I will give my thoughts on the game, give it like a review, mini review. Overall, it was good. There's definitely some issues that I hope that they fix with Mirror's Edge 2. For example, consistency was a big problem. A few examples. Remember when I was climbing up the scaffold and there was those like metal pieces that I could grab onto and then flip around? Well, one or two of them I could turn all the way around, right? Like completely do a 180. But then the last one I could only turn like 45 to 90 degrees. So it's like, well, why? Why is this one different than the others? Some edges that she obviously should have been able to grab onto but couldn't. Like on the second mission, I think, where I was getting lost and I kept trying to jump up and grab that one ledge when I clearly should have been able to, but she just wouldn't grab it. So things like that, and the problem we had on this last stage where I was jumping on and grabbing a hold of the thing, but she started vaulting over it instead of just grabbing it and pulling herself up. I really don't know what was up with that. If I was pushing different buttons, I don't know what I was pushing or not pushing, because I kept trying different combinations and zero combination to see if I could figure out what the hell was wrong, and I could not figure it out. Another big problem is obviously the combat is god awful and terrible. And any part where, sorry, I was reading the voice actor. Any part where you had to figure out where to go while you were being shot at was pretty damn bad. Like, it was very frustrating. If you didn't figure it out quickly, or if you didn't just happen to go to the right place, that got very frustrating. But the parts where you're just, you know, running around, going from place to place, and even if you were being chased, like the kind of the bullet hailfire was just there for show, and it was pretty easy to figure out where you're supposed to go. That part felt nice because you just had a flow going, and you're jumping and you're flipping through rails, and you're.
Terrorist attack at the Shard has left 9 people dead and many more injured. According to a Callahan staff member, a security breach led to a series of catastrophic outages in the Shard's many public protection systems, causing havoc not just at the Shard, but throughout the city. The suspects in the act are none other than the former CPF officer and accused murderer Kate Connors and her sister, Faith Connors. Although the scope and precise cause of the outages is as yet unclear, many troubling questions have emerged in their wake, including the role of the so-called runners in the destabilization of city operations. In the aftermath of the incident, local security firm Pirandello Kruger will be assisting the CPF. PK and the mayor's office have also recommended mobile phone and email be used sparingly until additional security measures have been deployed, as their security has been temporarily compromised. The whereabouts of both suspects are currently unknown.
And also, Parlock, who again was doing a collab sort of, or what would you call it, complimentary run? I don't even know. Run. Also, you probably figured that out by now, but make sure to check the link to watch him. But apparently, this was actually written by Rhianna Pratchett as well, who wrote Tomb Raider. The story was, speaking of, going back to the criticism of the game, the story was okay. It was enough to keep me going, but I wasn't really that interested in like, ooh, what's going on. And I think it's kind of, I don't know. I think the run, like this super high end like politician with all this power is going after these runners. Like, that's his priority. That seems a bit weird. And to go through all of that trouble just to kill them, I mean, they can't be that hard to kill. Just hire a sniper and shoot them, hang out on the rooftops. You don't really need these highly trained killers to kill these runners. It's not like they're ninjas or elite soldiers or anything. So that was pretty silly, in my opinion. The voice acting was good. I did like the voice acting overall. Graphically, I think the game looked great. I really, really liked the aesthetic. There were times where, like the red, where it was supposed to, and I guess it's more of a gameplay thing, but the red should have been used more often. There's like sometimes it was just so inconsistent. Like sometimes it was pretty obvious where to go, but it showed you in red anyway. But there's other times where, especially when you're being shot at, like the red should be used more often. Like those cases earlier where I was talking about where it's basically trial and error. You're trying to figure out where you're supposed to go, and you're taking damage the whole time, and if you take too much damage, you die and start all over again. Or if you go the wrong way, you're screwed and you die and you have to do it again. That would be a good time to be using the red things. Not so much when not as much when I'm not under any time pressures and I'll just figure it out on my own. But when I'm trying to escape, having the red there would help eliminate a lot of the frustration and kind of get the excitement going, because you're running away consistently, and again, you're vaulting over things and you're swinging and you're running on the walls and all this other things. But if you die, especially if you die repeatedly, that turns that excitement into frustration. So, and I do think it's a very thin line to walk between it's trivial and you just basically have to, follow the dots, as it were, to find out where you're going. And the only difficulty is not screwing up the jumps or whatever. Even if they didn't appear until you were a little bit closer, I mean, they already kind of, in some cases, did seem to be distance related. But wow, credits are over already. Must have been a small team. The overall, I liked it. As far as a rating between 1 and 10, it was also really, really short. I mean, you can go back and do the time trials, obviously, and I think this game is probably more for those who really would do that. But somebody who's like me who didn't like it that much, it's very, very short. I would say probably give this game about because of the problems, maybe a 7. I'd range between a 6.5 and a 7. Which again, I use the entire damn scale, where a 5 is just an average game. It's got as about as much bad as it does good. And 7 is still a good game. My big problems were like the third and fourth missions were not very good at all, I thought. And there were definitely some frustrating parts. But actually near the end, like the last missions, I started enjoying it a lot more. So a little uneven, I think, as far as that goes. And again, it's overly short. As far as price, I like to also give kind of a price review where I suggest a price that you should pick it up at. If you are, again, like me, and you're probably just going to play through the game once, you're not going to try to go back and get all the collectibles, you're not going to try to get speedrun it, you're not going to try to get the best time, maybe 15, 20 tops. I wouldn't go over 20, 15 should be the max. It's not hard to find this game at that price these days. It goes on sales pretty often. 15 is probably about the most I would suggest. If you are the type who would like to do the speed runs and try to get the best time that you possibly can and go back and maybe play on a harder difficulty, find the hidden items, I'd go up to 25-ish, 30 tops, then no higher than 30. Unless, yeah, but again, that shouldn't be very difficult because this game is getting a little older now. The sequel's coming out, I think, next year, and it does go on sale pretty frequently on Steam. So, yeah, overall, good game. There was definitely some very frustrating parts, especially in those first stages, but I feel like they kind of ironed most of those out later on. But yeah, definitely check it out. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for checking out Farlock's version of this LP as well. Please leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of this Let's Play, and I will see you next time.